Hi, Joe and Pie. Thank you for the 10 months. Holy crap. Wait, it's been 10 months? Didn't we just have a Twitch baby? I thought that was like a week ago. Isn't our Twitch baby like only a week old? What? How? Also, the crossed out Satan end is... So, it's just me for the start of it. And I don't think I've ever actually used this. So, like, I remember it, I'm like, wait, Satan's not here. Solo Shark. So right now it's just the Sharky Show. Let's swap over to the game. How are you doing, Joe? How are you doing, Pie? Just get the Sharky is swimming all Pie is lonesome. It's sharks all the way down. Oh man. Yeah, I had a crappy afternoon, but I'm doing much better. Oh, I'm so sorry. Also, the bottom one is the shared file I have with Satan. You can see how far we got and how much time we've spent. I'm sorry you had a crappy afternoon. Hopefully this chill times of fishing will be able to also help. And we can just talk about things. I've been on a bit of hiatus. Yeah, I've noticed I haven't been popping the stream, sadly. And I'm sad about that because either I'm recording, I'm sleeping, or I'm like another thing is popped up. So but I have noticed you haven't really been streaming, Joe. Now I'm sorry I didn't pop into your Wednesday stream, Pie. Oh, I did see that. I saw that, Pie, where they were like body shaming you and stuff. That's terrible. I'm so sorry. I'm glad you're switching, because nobody should go through that, period. Aww. Yeah, I've been having a pretty terrible week myself, which is kind of why I need the chill times. I'm the reason why Wednesday got pushed off. I have such a bad toothache that it's affecting other parts of my body. Like ear pains, throat pains, and other crap. So I just scheduled a dentist appointment for Monday, and more than likely I'm having a few teeth removed. So yeah, I haven't been able to. I've only been sleeping a few hours a night. I'm up at 4 a.m. I'm not asleep until like 1. I understand. Oh, I haven't had a stream like 3 weeks. Yeah, I hope everything's okay, Joe. Understandable. Sometimes you just have to take a break. Where were we? Yes. Fishing, and only fishing. Oh! What a lie. Parsnips. Ooh. Lots of parsnips. So much money. And let's get my watering can. So if you weren't here last time, we are doing a beach farm, or I am doing a beach farm, mainly so that I can fish a lot. I'm not going to be doing a lot of, what's the word? Farming. That's the word. That's the, like, important word to this game. There's not going to be a whole lot of farming going on. There's going to be some, just not a crazy amount. Because I kind of don't enjoy the farming in this game. I enjoy the fishing. As you can, if I wasn't tested out, come on. I wanted to see how far I got. Soda can, cool. I'm level 6 fishing. Yeah, my kidney wanted to kill me at first, so I was recuperating from that. Then I was having anxiety. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, I know on our side, we've also been having anxiety over the hate raid stuff. Because, one, nobody should be hate raided. And just, obviously, we don't know when it will pop up and stuff. We've done some stuff on our side to try and help mitigate some things, but obviously, nothing's gonna happen or nothing's gonna really change anything, and it sucks. Not until something happens on Twitch's side. But hopefully I'm glad your kidney's feeling better. Every time I open up Streamlabs, I'm seeing all these new bot follows, and I'm just pissed off. I don't even think we ran the commander route thing because, yeah, it's a game of whack-a-mole. I remember you saying the one time that, like, I think it was last Wednesday when I was in your stream, that, like, it was over 300,000 bots that the commander route thing was blocking, and that was going to take, like, days. Which is ridiculous. Yeah, we haven't ran it. I haven't ran it. 360. Oh my gosh. I know we've had a few bots follow us that like we've been blocking as they pop up. Took over 24 hours. That is ridiculous. Yeah. I figured it was 360 guy. We thankfully haven't had anything happen so far, other than there was one time during Code Realize, some people came in and started saying some not very awkward things for everybody. So we stopped that as quickly as possible, but that's thankfully been it so far. Oh, come on! Willie! I don't want to have like I'm very scared for if it happens one of these days, and just because, and I think everyone is right now. And it feels bad that we're so like I have so much fun doing it, so much fun chatting with y'all. It's ridiculous that we have to feel that people are making us feel scared for doing something that we just like doing. Like, no. But yes, hopefully, I'm able to pop into the stream tomorrow at some point. Joe. Yeah, blessedly the Pie Palace has been spared the worst of it. I think having follower-only mode set to 10 minutes, preemptively banning the known boss, blocking them has helped. Yeah, preemptively blocking probably is very, like, might, like, will always help, and, follower-only mode obviously will help. But I think a lot of the bots now are starting to follow people too, which is terrible. To try to mitigate that too. Or at least it feels that way. Oh, Joe, we're playing Boyfriend Dungeon. Our Wednesday game is Boyfriend Dungeon. Yeah, but okay, that's awesome. We're, I think, like 4 hours into the Boyfriend Dungeon. And also, I've played it on my own. Yeah. Satan's the one playing it. And obviously we're doing voices and all that stuff. No, you're fine. You're fine. And I think I've played an hour of it myself, just to get a feel for what the combat's like. Just because I like that, I like those type of games. So I'm like, I want to feel this combat. So I own it, and I've played about an hour of it myself. But yeah, the only thing I'm always like is we're trying to keep it as fresh as possible for us. So oh boy, that's gonna be fun. I only know very select few things, like I think I only know one thing like that's past where we are. We're trying to keep it as fresh as possible. I know that's kind of a game that kind of game divides the visual novel game of with the content. Yeah, I mean, obviously I can only go off of what I know. I like that part of me likes that it's more than just the like visual novel part of it. It gives us a little bit more. Obviously that can be very hard for some people. Kind of like with Hades. Just disabilities and all that stuff. And some people just want the story, and there's also other content in the game that further divides it. That I don't know the context. All I know is it's in it. So far, it's been okay. Probably not been my personal favorite one that we've played. But that's just because there hasn't been a whole lot of characters that I've connected with. We just haven't seen a lot of them yet. Hopefully, as we get further into the game and we see more, we meet more that we like, or that I like. So far, we've met 3 weapons? Yeah, we've met 3 weapons. I haven't played it yet, but I definitely have things to say. Okay. Yeah, like I said, I only know the parts that we've we've played. I know that there was a huge thing around the trigger warning. I know that the voice actor for one of the characters was getting harassed for that what that character does to you. And that's really about it. I don't know the specifics. I don't know anything farther. Yeah, no, the person who voices him should not have gotten that. Like, end of story. It sucks that happened because that's not how it should be. Yeah, it's called acting. Like, look, if I got crapped on for every villain that I've acted on here, that wouldn't be good because I'm always the villain. Like, we should be like, people are allowed to play villains and be villains. Like, that's yeah, they're reading a script. It's not who they are as people. Luckily, yeah, and also true. Yeah, that's the thing. The minute that we met the character, we were both like, no. And we, like, are doing our best to never interact with that character. So... other than, like, the forced moments, so, like, the actor did a good job, the writing did a good job. We hated him from the outset. Like, now, are some of the things that happened that I don't know about okay? No, they're not okay, because there's a trigger warning for that stuff for the reason. Because it's not okay. Obviously, I only know very little. Drink the Joja Cola. But, you know, I'm kind of sad we didn't get to play it this week due to me not feeling well. Because I am actually excited to learn more and see more characters. I think we're ranked 2 with all the weapons that we have. Like, we've gone on a few dates with all of them. Dates, quote unquote. Sad because at first glance I was like, okay, you aren't terrible in the eyes and you seem nice, and then bam, it was, heck no. I don't know, it was, yeah, obviously different interactions. I think it was like the moment he texts you after, I think after the first time you meet him, we were both like, yeah, you're kind of like disrespecting us and what we're saying. Come on. Come on, fish. Yeah, that was problematic. Yeah, exactly. Super problematic. But, like, that's who the character is. I'm not saying that's a good thing. But they very much are, like, this character is problematic. Like, boom, this character is problematic. Yeah. I'm definitely, like, once we get a little bit farther, like, once we know more about it, I definitely want to hear more opinions. Just because I don't know Jack or Jill. Come by the shop and check out the new rods I'm selling. They're the best money can buy. You can customize them. Yeah! Yeah! So yeah. Yes, Sunday we're doing a Code Realize, which is a Japanese visual novel, based in a steampunk London. And then Wednesday we're doing Boyfriend Dungeon. We were going to be doing something else, and then Boyfriend Dungeon came out, and we're like, well, we're doing Boyfriend Dungeon. Because I think Satan kickstarted that game before we even started the stream channel. Like before we even started on all this, that was kickstarted. So like, it was gonna get played. When we decided to do this, it was basically like an unwritten rule that when that game came out, it was gonna be streamed. And then it dropped. Yeah. And then it dropped. It like... The funniest thing was, they had the like Nintendo... They had like a Nintendo stream for like indie games. And then they're like, Boyfriend Dungeon out today. I'm like, oh, hey, like, yeah, that sounds familiar. And then Satan messaged me like later on being like, wait, Boyfriend Dungeon came out? I'm like, yeah, I saw that. Yeah. Yeah, apparently it came out of nowhere. Like, she got the key for like kickstarting it like a day or two before. And then it was basically like, boom, it's out. What? Are you not going to like market this at all? Is this what? But I mean, that was also a weird thing with that Nintendo. There were a bunch of games in that Nintendo release that were basically like, this game you've probably never heard of, out today, and it's just like, wait, what? There was like 4 or 5 of them that were like that. Like was it? Oh, a diamond, cool. Necro Barista, which is a really interesting game to look at. And I really want to play at some point. That got like a director's cut or something that like I didn't even know was happening. I didn't even think like was ever gonna be a thing because like it's out on everything. It's got like some director's cut with new stuff that like just dropped that day. No word, just hey, it's out. Okay. What? Oh man. Hopefully you guys are having fun watching my fishing shenanigans. I need to get my new rod. Yes, Willie's finally in. All my money goes into the rod. So, fishing. Yes, actually. So I have a lot of fun with this game, when I'm playing with friends. So, like, I was showing earlier the file with Satan that's, like, almost 60 hours. Like, I have a lot of fun playing that. When it's so, like, but what I do is, like, I'll do, like, I will do, like, the farming part of it, like, watering the crops and everything like that. But, like, 99% of the time, I'll just fish. Because, one, early game, it's really good money. And two, I find the minigame super fun. So, like, yeah, no, my favorite thing about this game is literally the fishing. Which is the weirdest thing, because, like, from what I know, some people really despise the fishing in this game. Like, apparently, like, a lot of people flippin' hate the fishing. I have done the mining. I've never myself, without Satan doing it first, gotten to, like, the bottom level, um, of the mines. Like, it's fine. Like, it's fun doing the combat and everything like that. But I don't know, it's just the chillness of just fishing. Like, see what you get. You have a little fun minigame. Oh, and obviously romancing people. I get yelled at constantly by Satan. I don't talk to anybody in this game. I don't communicate with anybody. I kind of just exist on this farm and fish. Nothing else. I get yelled at for not talking to people. Not befriending Linus for this stuff. Not like... Nope, nobody. See, it's in my personality where I am very much a, if I don't have to... If I don't have to talk to people, like, I kind of prefer to just do my own thing. Not to say that I dislike talking to people. It's just I'm very much a, like... I like doing my own thing, going my own way, and then if I deal with people, I deal with people. I don't blame you, honestly. I mean, it's... This game isn't, like... The characters are one thing. Some people will love the characters. I need to find good mods to help with the dialogue. I'm not a person... Personally, I don't like modding games. Whoops. It's just me. My friend has said 2020 has taught me that my preferred level socially... Yeah, basically. Like, I was in therapy. I was in one of my therapy sessions. And my therapist was like... So... A lot of, like, my people are, like the quarantine has affected them differently. Like, how has it affected you? I'm like, it kind of hasn't. Like, the only thing that it's affected is I wasn't able to see the group of people for my tabletop games in person. Other than that, which obviously I miss them, and we're starting to do that, and we're making sure to be safe about it. But other than that, nothing's changed about me. I go to work, I come home, I eat, I sleep, I do the little bit of internet that I do. So, like, yeah, I've definitely found some peace and silence. Yeah, I actually don't go stir crazy without human interaction. I will go days. Well, yeah, no, I could literally go days and just be like, just doing my own thing, and it's not like a problem for me. But I think that mainly has to do with I find peace isn't the right word. More, I find like a silence, like a weird serenity to it. Mainly because of the house that I grew up in being with so many people that were always there, like they didn't go out, that being in a place by myself where if I don't necessarily make a sound, there might be no noise whatsoever, is like an amazing feeling to me personally. But obviously that's me, and I totally understand. I know one of the people I know who's in that tabletop RPG. He hasn't returned just yet because the pandemic affected them extremely hard, and they're still trying to fully recover from it, which, if that happens to you, obviously take care of yourself. Like, full stop, just always take care of yourself. If I didn't have Dan and the internet during the pandemic, I'd have broke or truly fell in love with 2D characters. Hey! I mean, mood. I definitely think streaming has helped with that. Like, honestly, being able to chat with y'all and being able to like be around y'all, cuz like, other than Melik, like Joe and Pi, like you started coming during Arcade Spirits, which was mid quarantine.
I am here with captions.
Oh, hey. What's up?
The movie was bad.
Oh, was it very bad?
I made fun of it. Well, so we planned out a movie night, but the movie that won the poll for movie night was one that just came out last week, and the poll ended on the day that it came out.
Wow.
So now that it's out, it has a 37% on Rotten Tomatoes.
37?
37.
Wow.
But it was fun to make fun of. Hi everyone, how much have I missed?
We've
a lot of chat and chat.
We've been talking just about this week. We've been talking about pandemic and a bunch of other stuff. It's just been chill chatting.
Oh, the movie was Reminiscence. It's like a new Hugh Jackman movie.
I think the only time I heard of it was the day you mentioned it.
Yeah.
I saw an ad for it on like YouTube or something. Haven't seen an ad since.
It's fine. It's fun to make fun of. I will say I had fun poking fun at like dumb plot holes and stuff. And like, it's really funny because it's like, Hugh Jackman is capable of action, right?
Oh yeah.
Right.
I mean, he flippin' did Wolverine for how many years?
Right. So why are the action scenes in this movie so like over choreographed and like
that would be on the director.
And, like yeah, and like they kept talking like, oh, his character was in military, he was in the Navy, whatever, he worked at the border. Why was the Navy working at the border? He like is a veteran or whatever, in this like post-apocalyptic world, blah blah blah. But then every time an action scene comes up, he's like fucking useless.
Yeah, that would then be on the director.
Yeah,
there.
I'm like, that's not on Hugh Jackman. We know he's better than this.
Because the director would be overseeing the choreographers.
It's also by, I think, not the director for Inception, his brother.
Still haven't seen Inception, so.
Well, I also watched the movie Tenet, which is by that same brother that did Inception.
I haven't.
That one is.
I've heard it. I heard it's trippy. I was actually just listening to something about it today.
Like Inception, I know people said a lot of stuff about like how confusing it was. It's not that confusing. Tenet is confusing.
I was listening to something today and like about it and how like just the timeline of events confuses you with how it works.
Basically, the timeline, they can move backwards.
Yeah. And
but it's not like they went back in time and then go forward from there. They are literally moving backwards through the
Yeah.
scene.
And
And
like
so,
there's a good
like,
portion of the movie where they're literally just doing everything in reverse.
hmm um, and like, it's a lot to wrap your head around in the
Mm.
sense of time moving backwards as they seem to be moving forward. Because from their
Yes.
perspective, they're moving forward, but it's backwards to the other side.
Yes. Which seems very interesting and makes me want to see it
I do think that one's
once.
good. That one is a good movie, or at least like a decently good movie. I don't think it's like the best movie ever, but
Oh
it's
yeah.
certainly solid. But it just, you have to have your mind very like attentive and like on for that. Otherwise, we'll get lost.
I mean,
You'll get lost.
even if you are attentive, there's a chance you'll get lost.
Right, exactly. Because like there were parts where I was like, wait, what exactly is happening?
Hmm.
Um, because especially when it's cutting between different characters and like different scenes. Um,
Yeah, I know I was hearing
like
there's
there's a thing that they can do which actually like flips which direction they're going.
mm-hmm.
So they can go backwards in time, but then they're moving backwards. But then next thing you know, they're moving forwards again. And then on top of that, like at certain parts of the movie, they're also cutting between characters in different scenes. So it's like, wait, which one is moving which way?
Yeah, I was just about to say
That's where it gets really confusing.
I know that
So I will say that one's good.
there's one portion of the movie where they like are cutting between two different like characters that are moving in completely different directions in time, and you have to wrap your head around like this is the character, this is what time they're moving, this is what's happening then, and
Hmm
which is a slight mess, but
And then
seems
on top of
interesting.
that, you have the like sort of time paradox thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, where it's like they're interacting with each other, but like not they are, but it's
I mean,
yeah.
like
So
from
they have to
what
come back around to be like their future selves, but now it's the past again, and it's very confusing that way.
I've also heard that there are some parts that are like can be chicken or an egg of like wait, but what happened? Does this happen first? Does like
Exactly.
like do, is this the reason why this happened, or is this the reason why it
So if
happened
this
because
part
they
hasn't
solved it?
happened, then that part should never have happened. So why was that thing there?
Like
Yeah.
like
It's the kind of like if you don't think too deeply about it, it's a fun ride. If you do think too deeply about it, it's still fun, but your head's gonna hurt.
not as hard as Alice in Wonderland.
You're forever upset about that.
I'm
You
for
know, the funny thing is, I don't think the guy who said that has ever
no.
come
Mm-mm.
back.
Nope.
Or actually, for that matter, I don't even know if it was a guy. I just remember they had a user Alfonso.
Yeah.
But obviously, that's from Full Metal Alchemist. Like,
Yeah, it was
actually, we
Alphonse.
don't even know if it was a guy.
Yee. Yeah, Alphonse never came back, and my head is still forever hurt by uh,
They came,
mathematics.
broke your brain, and left.
Mathematics in regards to Alice in Wonderland. Oh my gosh, that is a Wikipedia article that will forever haunt my brain. Oh my gosh.
I just think it's really funny that that's always like the thing you come back to complaint wise on this stream of like the thing that broke you, and it was from someone who has never come back.
That actually got posted on YouTube recently.
Mm.
That stream.
Well, great.
Um,
That was the beginning of our quarantine.
That was the first
Friday
community.
streams.
That was the first community stream, actually.
Yeah, now we just stopped calling them community streams, just Friday stream.
Yeah.
That was because that was back when we thought that like COVID was gonna last a couple months and you know then it'd go back to normal and stuff. No, No.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Um,
Most of our friends on the stream didn't find us until after we started doing
yeah,
those
we were actually, I was, before you joined, I was actually talking about it, how, like, well, one thing we were talking about Boyfriend Dungeon, because Joe's gonna be playing that tomorrow.
Yeah, I
Um,
skimmed through the in chat
to
before
be
I
so
hopped
young and naive again.
in.
But I was also talking about how, like, Pi and Joe have only known us from after quarantine started, because that's when Arcade Spirits started.
That's correct.
And actually, Arcade Spirits episode 1 is going to be going up soonish.
Ish. Yeah.
Like, within a few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Which is weird to think about.
Because we just finished it.
Because
like,
we just finished
few
it
weeks
last
ago.
month. Yeah. And also, apparently, Joe's been subscribed for 10 months. And I'm like, wait, but wasn't like,
Maybe in a month.
but wasn't last week like, wasn't it like only last week that we had a Twitch baby? How has it been 10 months? What are you talking about? We just had a baby.
Look, time is also funky in real life now.
Yeah.
It's not just in time travel movies. We've just been living in a time vortex.
Yeah. Time's been a mess recently.
Yeah.
Like, it's been very weird. Like, I've been having, like I was telling you, like, Saturday, Sunday, I recorded all of Final Fantasy 1, and that, like, seemed like a blink of an eye. Like, I started, ooh, I'm done. And then there's some...
Gaming times suck, right?
But then, like, there's sometimes it's just, like, I'm doing something, and then I look at the clock, I'm like, how's it only been 5 minutes? Haven't I been here for years? What is happening?
I mean, I feel like the really wild thing for, like, COVID and quarantine and stuff has been, like, I used to go out a lot. I used to do things a lot, right?
Yeah.
Remember back when I had to, like, change the stream time
Like, every
regularly?
week? Every week?
Not every week. Like, every other week or something. But, and I think back then it was Wednesday and weekend. It wasn't Wednesday, Sunday specifically. But once we brought in Friday, we're like, all right, well, to make sure we're not streaming 2 days in a row, it'll be Wednesday, Friday, Sunday.
Yeah.
But, like, so those things were a much easier way for me to, like, okay, this happened in this month, this happened in that month, what was happening during that time also happened in that month. Like, it was good anchors, right? I don't have that anymore.
I mean,
so I'm just like,
I've never had that.
when did this happen again? What month was that?
I've
and
never.
then I'm like, oh, we're at the end of August.
Yeah, we're at the end of August.
When did that happen? Oh, I know where it went. It went to streaming 3 days a week and, like, being beep and obey me brain rot fandom crap out there 4 days a week.
Actually, the person who started the same day I did at my job just put in their 2 weeks notice, apparently. And I'm like, oh, good. One less crappy person at the desk.
I mean, I don't know if I told you, the guy who's leaving my team, or rather who left like a week and a half ago, he just started a couple years before him, or not a couple years, he just started a couple months before me, like maybe 2 months before I did.
Wow.
And he just left saying, yeah, I've been here for like 2 years now, so it's kind of time for me to move on, and I want to find the next step of my career. So I'm going to be on this team doing this, blah, blah, blah. I'm just like, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it has been 2 years. What happened?
Yeah, for me... year and a half so far, which is weird to think about.
Mm-hmm. I'm almost at 2.5 years.
Which, I mean, it's always weird for me because, like, whenever I'm on a call, people will be like, oh, how long you've been here? And I'll be like, I started as the pandemic started hitting everyone the hardest. And everyone's like, oh.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
Cause, like, really, that's kind of, like, sadly the best way to, like, frame it as, like, yeah, I started beginning of March, you know, when everything went downhill.
Yeah. I mean, I have the other friend who started like their job a couple months before you and got laid off.
Yeah. I mean,
Like, a
my,
couple weeks into the pandemic.
yeah.
And I was just like, oof, because they were looking for a job for a while. They finally got one. And then they were on unemployment within a couple months because then the pandemic hit and there was like a 70% company layoff.
My roommate. Oh, hey. Cool. I think
Okay, cool.
I got a treasure chest.
Ah.
Let me stream the game at you.
Yeah, I've been looking at it from the stream, but that means I'm delayed.
My roommate started at her job the January before, January 2020, and was furloughed. Like the minute everything went down. Thankfully has started back up, but
Good at least.
but was furloughed for a very good amount of time. Just because works in the medical industry, when there's a good amount of people not doing anything medical related because pandemic, kind of hard.
Oh, people were doing things medical related. It's just specific.
Very.
And that other things were deprioritized.
Yeah. To be so young and naive again. Yeah, well. March of 2020, very different time.
Yeah, that back then I thought one of my friends was a guy, but then I found out that she's trans. That's which is apparently like a common thing in the pandemic because people had a lot more time for self-reflection.
Yeah. A lot of
Coming
self-reflection.
across like resources and stuff.
Yeah.
For learning about those things. So I guess a lot of people have been learning things about themselves.
Which is good. Always good to learn things about yourself.
Always better to become more honest to who you really are inside. You know, that's a journey.
Can I just have like silence instead?
Hmm?
Can I just have silence instead though?
Instead of
Yes.
no.
Oh.
You can have silence and self-reflection.
Oh. But I don't want to look in a mirror.
Well, look in a metaphorical mirror.
Oh no.
In fact, if you want silence, I feel like you're more prone at that point to looking in a metaphorical mirror because what do you fill the space with? What do you fill your thoughts with?
Am I supposed to think of the silence?
Are you capable of turning off your brain that way?
Sadly, I can't. Usually,
So I was gonna say, I mean, if you can, great for you.
usually it's just filled with songs. Lately, like 3 songs. fill the silence with music. Yeah, my brain will just start randomly playing some playlists. It's composed. Mainly the playlist is of a few select songs that it's hooked onto.
A playlist? That sounds nice. Mine just starts DJing multiple songs stuck in my head simultaneously into one, like,
Within
mash.
the sound of silence.
The sound of Smash Man?
What?
Did I ever send you that?
What?
Someone did like a sound of whatever and Smash Mouth mashup. So it was, this is the sound of Smash Mouth.
Yeah, no, you never sent me that.
Oh, I have to send you. I
I
must find it. I must send it.
I have never smashed my mouth.
It comes with a silly video and stuff too,
Of course.
because they put it on YouTube. So here we go. Boop. Everyone can enjoy the sound of Smash Mouth.
Well, sadly, I will not be playing it on stream.
You cannot. You now have the problem that I've had many a time where people send things and I go, but I can't actually listen right now. Fuck.
Yeah.
With an artist, I like just dropped an album today and I haven't listened to it yet.
Oh, really?
And I will continue not listening to it yet because we're in the middle of stream.
Yeah. That just reminds me of me having to cut out the one stream where we did part of it as Twitch sings, and then I basically just put text up for a solid like little bit while we were talking near the end of that, where it's just like the rest of the stream has been cut, so we don't get DMCA'd to death. Because we'll be DMCA'd to death. And we don't want that.
We do not want that. That's correct.
Two. I will listen after. Yeah.
What was the thing? There was a different mashup by this person that was also very silly. And that was the reason I came across them. But it was also, like, surprisingly good.
The only mashup I've actually ever heard was, I think it was called DuckTales Adventures 2. It was Live and Learn from Sonic Adventures 2 and the DuckTales theme song mashed together.
I feel like I would like to learn how to better do, like, mashup things.
Oh, yeah.
Because I can do it in a very rudimentary way, but it's not necessarily good. It's not the most, like, creative kind, because I don't have all the fun things to pull in. So I need to, like, find that.
I just wish I knew how to do audio better.
Well, that would be one way of learning how to do audio better, I guess.
Because I'm still like, crap, how do I do things so that, like, while I'm recording, I don't sound terrible? But really, I will forever just sound terrible. Oh, hey, 500 gold, thanks. I have so much money.
I don't know what songs they mashed up here, but they have a video titled Game of Thongs. Which seems to be Game of Thrones, but, like, clearly they've mashed it up with something to do with thongs, apparently.
I have so many questions, and I want 0 of them answered.
Oh, there's I write sugar, not watermelons. I write sins, not tragedies, but mashed up with, I think it's Harry Styles did, like, watermelon sugar.
Game of Thrones and the Thong song? again, I have so many questions, and I want 0 of them
I'm,
answered.
you know, I've heard of the thong song, but I don't think I've heard the thong song, and I think I'm okay with not having heard the thong song.
I'll just stick to the music that's like been stuck in my head, which I like. I'm liking the music that I've been listening to lately. Um, it's the band or band. I think it's only one person, but Aviators
I can say artist. The
artist.
art.
Aviators.
Okay.
The few songs that have been stuck in my head that I've really enjoyed. One of them's called God Hunter. One is Traveler's Song, which is just a very nice little D&D like song. And I think the last one's called... Crap, what is the last one called? Let me see.
One's called Crap. What is the last one called?
No, it's actually like it's a very mellow song about death and dying.
Great. Sign me
Um,
right up.
what is it called?
I just realized how goth I am, but not in like goth rock kind of way or like a goth industrial kind of way. And so I've just been getting a lot of like death and demons and stuff themed music in my suggestions, but I've realized that
Black
Spotify
Roses.
has too fast of a discovery cycle for me. Like I like knowing the songs I listen to really well, and they're churning out like 30 track playlist things for me twice a week, and I'm just like, I can't keep up with this. I cannot.
Yeah, Black Roses is the third song. But like they also do like video game inspired ones, so I think one of them is like a Celtic inspired song based on like Crusader Kings 3.
Hmm.
They have some Bloodborne songs, Dark Souls and stuff like that. Like very good, like good music. Like I'm, if you have a microphone and that those songs are playing, I'm singing along to them.
Only if you have a microphone?
Like if you had a microphone, you would hear me singing along to them. Thankfully, nobody's hearing me sing along to those songs because I'm alone in my room, being a sad little child.
In your room,
Yeah,
presumably.
but it's not recording because I sound terrible.
You can just set it to record.
Not in the middle of work.
Why not?
Because I'm working on work stuff, have YouTube on in the background and singing.
Yes.
Well, let me see if I can pull up the words to one of them.
Also, I'll be right back. I had dental surgery yesterday, which means that now I have to wash out my mouth with salt water on a regular basis, especially after eating. So I'll be right back because I just had a snack, which means I have to wash my mouth with salt water again. Really discourages you from having dessert. And you have to follow up dessert with salt water wash.
Ah!
Rip me. Okay, I'll be right back.
I will wait to list off some of the lyrics. After she gets back. How are you doing, Melik? Hope you've been having a good week. Hope you've been having a better week than some. Just chill. There's just fishing. Ooh. Did you have like a little bit of time off from work? Did you like go on a vacation or something, or like Just have time off from work? Tends to be 5 days on and 2 days off. I came back, the new manager is changing everything. Oh no! That's not good. Screw that. And stone. Screw changing everything. That's not cool. Hopefully it doesn't negatively impact you. Obviously it's going to mess up scheduling and all that because you're used to 5 days on, 2 days off, but... Oh, man. He's making things more efficient for the boss, less people working at a given time, and trying to be more time efficient. Which is very jarring. Okay. I mean... less people working can be a good thing and a bad thing. Obviously depends on time of day and what's happening, honestly. Actually, I'm gonna fill up my water real quick. I will be right back. I'm just gonna let you guys listen to some music for a little bit.
What'd I miss? Wait, did Sharky just leave? I just heard something about let you guys listen to music for a little bit. Did Sharky leave? And what did I miss? Enjoying being back at work. Tends to be 5 days on, 2 days off. Came back and the new manager is changing everything. It's making things more efficient for the boss, less people working at a given time, trying to be more time effective is just very jarring. Ooh. Filling his water bottle. Sharky escaped because he cannot stand being around me, obviously. But he'll deal. Sharky escaped from the prison of the stream. I was about to make an Amnesia reference, but then I realized not everyone was here when we played Amnesia. But yeah. I don't know. How else has everybody been? I've come back from washing my mouth out with salt. But that's not soap, so I can still swear. I can still curse like a motherfucking sailor. Because it's not soap. Or I've never actually had my mouth washed out with soap. It sounds very, very unpleasant. But technically, I suppose you could wash your mouth out with soap and then still fucking curse. Finally got my first shot booked. Yay! Congratulations! Yeah, I just saw a friend today who is in her second week after her second shot. So, woohoo! Vaccine!
I guess I left at the most interesting time.
You left exactly as I got back. I heard something about let you guys listen to music for a bit just as I walked back into my room.
Yeah, I went to fill up my water because my water was out.
So I see that you have a bunch of trash.
Yeah, that's my MO. I am trash.
I didn't say you are trash. I said you have a bunch of trash.
Same thing.
No, it's not. A garbage can is not trash just because it holds trash. But you probably want to like empty the garbage sometimes. But that reminds me, I need to take out compost and recycling very soon. They are very full.
So what did you talk about while I was gone?
I started rambling about how I've never had my mouth washed out with soap.
Same.
Because I washed out my mouth with salt. But that's not the same.
It's not.
So I will curse as much as I want to. But also I don't really think that washing your mouth out with soap is gonna stop you from saying dirty words.
No, it's not.
What the fuck is the point?
Punishment, because parents like punishing people.
In awful, awful ways.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I brought up these lyrics to read off the for Black Roses. I'm gonna read the chorus to you.
Okay.
We are husks, alive but barely breathing. Sometimes we pull ourselves together, but our efforts fade away. We are dust, crumbling by the moment. We try to push away the endings, and black roses fall the same.
And this is by who?
Aviators. It's a rock ballad song. They do a bunch of different styles of rock songs.
I found it.
It's a good song. I like it.
I'm like, ooh, this seems probably up my alley. I have to listen now, but like on my phone to my ear so that we don't get DMCA'd.
Come on, fish.
Are you on the better rod now?
Yes, I'm on the highest level rod.
Nice.
I bought that day 10.
So just like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Good job.
Eat all the seaweed, drink all the cola. Healthiest diet around.
A fisherman's diet consists of 0 fish, but a lot of seaweed and soda. What was the one you said about like fighting God or something?
God hunters. It is basically about a ruler who's equivalent.
Aviators.
Yes.
Interesting.
Who's basically equivalent to the god, and he's basically, as far as I know, it's a set in a story. It's like the end of the story where a group has basically banded together, and the person is basically like talking.
Why is it the first song on this album?
Why? Because
The end of the story. Why is it the first song on the album?
Because the story's in multiple albums. Like it's not told in linear fashion.
I'm also amused by the song title "Pop Cult Crucifixion."
Yeah, that's a weird one. Redwater Dreams, that's also very good. That I sing along to.
I'll have to look into it more later.
But yeah, it's I think God Hunters is basically like the villain, quote unquote. Basically, like I'm the ruler of the world, but the God Hunter's gonna come find me and kill me.
If you're the world, the God Hunter actually sounds like the good guy here.
Yes, it's literally the villain
You
singing
mean
this.
the God Hunter is from the villain's perspective, not the God Hunter is
The
the
song God
villain.
Hunter is sung in the villain by the villain.
Yeah, these I'm just saying these things mean different things. Oh, I also got a song on my Discover playlist this week. Which is really interesting because it's like sort of an inspirational pick yourself up, like keep going kind of song, but like pirate themed. So the
Okay.
first time I listened to it, suddenly I just hear yo ho. Just like what is
Wait, wait,
happening?
what?
Let me find the lyrics. Um, do is this the right one?
Cause I mean, I still sometimes there are some days where Wellerman comes and pops in my head.
Did you listen to the Jonathan Young Wellerman cover though?
Yes.
Oh God.
Did you listen to the Caleb Piles version? Where he got Jonathan Young and a bunch of other of their friends to each do a part.
Oh, I might have. I also listened to what was it? Um Not Wellerman, but another sea shanty that started popping up. But it
Oh,
was
there's another one.
sung by Casey's or something. I don't know how to say their name. But they do things in a very sort of like haunting sounding
You
voice, and so it sounds like a sea shanty as sung by a mermaid siren who is definitely
what?
trying to kill you.
What?
Let me
You're gonna need to find that and send that.
um okay, let me first read this abandoned ship one. Um yeah. So let's see. Uh yo ho yo ho yo ho yo. Yo 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 ho yo
Yo yo
ho.
yo 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 yo.
I know, I'm doing great at this. It's okay. I'm not singing. Something something don't get DMCA'd. Um Everyone's on board, the richest and the poor. All these lonely kids have so much left to live for. So we'll run to the sea and find no captain waiting, for we're all that we need to keep this boat from sinking. Abandon everything you know, sail with us, and we'll show you what it means to be alive. All hands on deck, stick out your neck from the sea, a pirate's life for me.
Is the
Yo
is
ho,
this
yo
a girl
ho.
singing siren? It's reminding me of Melinda on TikTok.
Hmm?
Melik's comment.
Oh, Melinda. Wait, like Melinda Kathleen Race? Because I also like her a lot on YouTube. I don't have a TikTok, although I do know various things from TikTok. Um, Let me find what the song was that I had liked. Drunken Sailor.
Oh yeah, Drunken Sailor. I mean, it's always a good song.
Yeah, but this version, um, she she sounds like she's a siren.
Who's the artist?
Um, it's spelled Aeseaeus. Aeseus?
Spell that again.
I don't know how you're supposed to say that.
Spell it again.
Aeseaeus. Let me just actually put the link for this one on YouTube as well so you can listen later. It's really good. And it just, oh my gosh. It sounds like you're being hypnotized to go die.
Interesting.
Um,
One of the other sea shanty ones I like listening to is an artist, Cami Cat on YouTube, who did like a 30-minute one where it's just like a bunch of different sea shanties back to back.
I
So like it starts off with like Wellerman and Drunken Sailor and stuff
mm,
like that, but then get to like some D&D inspired sea shanties. I think one of them's a WoW inspired sea shanty, and like I think ends with like an original song done as a sea shanty.
that's cool.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. And also the visuals, um, it changes perspective. So like it gets nighttime, storm, daybreak, like as the songs go on. Like the video will change slightly. It's really cool.
I also came across this song of so I'm gonna read the lyrics, but then I'm gonna describe the artist. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um let's see. It is by wait, was that originally by oh, okay, it's a cover.
Yeah.
I guess it's sung by 5 Seconds of Summer. I didn't know it because I don't pay attention to 5 Seconds of Summer, but anyway. So the lyrics are, for the chorus at least, are fight so dirty, but your love's so sweet. Talk so pretty, but your heart got teeth. Late night devil, put your hands on me and never ever, never, never, never ever let go. And yeah, it's just like, it's kind of goth in a way. But then they did it like sort of in the style more of like Panic at the Disco vibes. But then also they're like a clean cut looking a cappella group. They're in like suspenders and shit.
That's amazing.
Also, go figure, it looks like all of them are white. But anyway, but it's like an all male, like very clean cut looking white a cappella, like preppy looking group.
Interesting.
Singing about how someone's a late night devil who's a heart's got teeth. I'm just like, wow, fascinating. Which I didn't realize until I had casted it to the TV yesterday.
Of like a Link's cover of
I
teeth.
am sure I can find it.
Or Discord's just gonna be like songs, listen to them.
You know, I don't want to spam the Satan Sitting Space
Just
channel.
make a music recommendation channel.
That I'm listening to, but I also would absolutely do that if people actually
Just make a music recommendation channel just so people can pop in music.
I knew we could do that.
That'd be fun.
I'm always happy for music.
Oh yeah, go for it.
Like, by all means, you can put them in the Satan channel or in. Should we make a music?
Make a music one. I need to make a playlist. I remember the one time it was for my my capstone project. We were there like we were doing an all-night session of working on it, which was terrible. I hated that project for many different reasons. But a person was like, we need to have some music playing to like keep us somewhat sane. And so basically it was just like yelling out, somebody just like whenever somebody yells out a song, I'll add it to this playlist. So like we had like 6 different people just yelling out different songs and just made this crazy playlist that didn't make sense. But it would be interesting to see what what a playlist from us would look like. I think Satan's dead. There's only the
Sorry,
shark
I'm
now.
trying to confirm that this is the right song because I found that a video of that cover. Because I was just listening to it on Spotify, so I was trying to
Yeah.
confirm the right one because I guess they made it to the quarterfinals of some competition, it seems, and it's the first song in this video, but I was just confirming like where it is in the video, so I'm like I needed to put a timestamp to find it. I
God.
could.
Yeah.
I did find it now. I'll just go ahead and make a
Yeah, make a music recommendations channel.
now.
Just so people can pop in songs
Not
that they
gonna be
want.
music recommendations. It's just gonna be music.
Yeah. People can just pop in songs.
Mm.
Like, if something's just popping right in, like, other people may enjoy this. Here you go.
I shall put it right under confused days quizzes. Also, we never use spoiler. Yes, spoiler.
A little bit, but also we haven't really talked about many spoilers about things.
Yeah. That's correct. Okay, so I shall pop this here. Think of it. Should we do like the proper thing and have a stream announcements channel, or should we just keep putting it in general?
It's up to you.
Do other people have a preference?
Ask the chat.
I am asking chat. Just because I said it out loud doesn't mean I'm not asking chat.
Ask chat better.
Okay. Apparently, I'm not good enough at asking chat, so why don't you ask chat?
Joe, it doesn't matter. Hi, I'm fine, I don't care. Melik.
Alright, asking chat was obviously very, very informative. Very strong opinions here.
Basically, like, you do you. Yeah, the notifications are the same either way.
Fair enough, I suppose.
We are so helpful!
You're very helpful. At times when I ask for help. At times when I ask for opinions. Sometimes I get opinions.
What is an opinion?
I think.
Is that like a new onion?
Yeah, they make you cry.
I guess if you want us to respond or not.
I mean, I guess it's more like I don't want to interrupt if conversations are already happening with just like stream announcements. Although usually we're not mid-conversation.
No.
It just sort of breaks up conversations that people might come across later with the stream announcements. It's just why I'm wondering if it would be cleaner to have it separately.
That also is assuming people actually go back and look at what's being said.
Okay, true. I'm suggesting a lot there because even I don't know what's. Well, no, I do it in artists. I don't necessarily do it because that's a lot.
And you can do at everyone. I don't even think any of us would do at anyone, mainly because
Technically, we should at that point.
Yeah.
Just because if it's in a separate channel, then I think the only thing is that people may look at it less, depending. I don't know.
Again, that's your call. Yeah. chill Friday fishing stream. This is what happens on Friday fishing
All right, I need
streams.
to schedule. I think we're moving ahead with just our 3 people for
Okay.
now of Yumi and Mick,
Okay.
unless more aces want. Well, one more ace wants to join.
And then at some point, me, you, and Pi.
Yeah.
And I guess if Pi wants to invite somebody else or
Yeah, or if anyone else wants to join otherwise. And like, I would open it up to our whole community, but considering it was we should do an ace farm like ask for us, I kind of feel like they might have been asking for ace farm, and I didn't want to make anyone uncomfortable if I like then went back and asked, wait, did you mean ace or like us as aces? Because I'm pretty sure they meant like ace farm. And I felt I didn't want to like put that call on someone else and make them feel potentially uncomfortable.
I mean, what I'm gonna do is the same either way. I only fish. Fishing is my life.
Well, the difference at that point would be what kind of farm do we get? How many crab pots do we need? What level of fishing will I get from purely crab pots? But that's because you handle the fishing at that point. Because, like, on my solo files, I'm not opposed to the fishing. You make it sound like I don't like the fishing.
I just do so much fishing.
Uh-huh. I mean, you do you. You have fun with the things you have fun with. Someday I'll get that Final Fantasy 15 fishing simulator. The literal one. The literal VR fishing simulator. And then
I will be right
something.
back.
I don't know what. I don't think of it. Is PSVR compatible with PS5? Did he leave again? Well, I'm gonna search it until he answers. Ooh, okay. Yes, you're able to use your first gen PlayStation VR headset to play games on PS5 via the console's backwards compatibility with PS4 titles. However, there's a catch. You can't use the new PS5 HD camera with your headset. Interesting. Very interesting. I have not used my PSVR nearly enough, but that's unfortunately because PSVR that I got came bundled with Skyrim, which would have had great potential, but they did not port it well, and so they just let all the shaky camera stuff happen, and that is a one-way ticket to nausea and motion sickness. I think that was like the only time I've actually gotten motion sickness from VR, because I've tried it a bunch of times, but yeah, that was not good. I've played about 30-40 minutes and then I went, okay, I am never playing Skyrim on VR again. They did this horribly. But I guess that's what happens when they just port Skyrim to literally everything.
What's Skyrim, the Skyrim edition? You can play Skyrim in Skyrim while playing Skyrim?
Oh, I was talking again about how I got PSVR with Skyrim on VR, but because they didn't manage any of the camera stuff to not make people motion sick, that was like the one time I've ever gotten motion sick from VR.
Yeah.
And so I've not played since. and I don't really have a whole lot else on PSVR. I probably should play some of the demos I got. Because I think it also came with like a disc full of demo games. But yeah, I need to use it more. And I also need to go back to doing Ring Fit because I have not been exercising. And I should.
Exercising is helpful.
It's good for you. And I gained quarantine weight, which, just unfortunately means that my clothes aren't fitting as nicely as they used to, and I would not like to have to buy a whole new set of clothes. So, I would like to, I guess, lose that weight so that my clothes will fit.
That'd be helpful. But I mean, Skyrim's also getting re-released again, if you didn't say.
What I was saying is that they just keep porting it to literally everything.
They had fishing.
They don't even necessarily do a good job with the ports, so it made me sick.
You can literally play Skyrim on everything.
Yeah, they made that joke ad thing for like Skyrim via Alexa, right?
No, that's not a thing. Like, that wasn't a joke.
This upsets me.
Like
Deeply.
I'm like 99% sure, like, no, Skyrim Alexa Edition, like, exists.
I'm gonna Google this too now. Skyrim Very Special Edition. Free to enable. It really. So apparently it works on any Android phone if you can install the Alexa app.
Skyrim Alexa is very real. My friend who used to work for Bethesda worked on it.
Oh my god. But like, how far do you get?
I don't know. I think there's also a thing about, like, I know it was a joke. I don't know if it was actually real, but like Skyrim on a fridge or something.
Well, I got my dad an Alexa for his birthday last year, so I guess maybe my birthday present this year will just be installing Skyrim on it for free. Not really. I'll get him a proper gift too, but wow. Wow.
No, Skyrim. That special edition for Alexa's also on Samsung smart refrigerators.
This upsets me.
Yeah, so, no, Skyrim's on, like, literally everything.
And they're really releasing. And charging people again.
Yes, I think, like, the newer version, what it's doing is, like, they had, like, the Creator Club mod things. Basically, all it is they're adding all the the DLC, which, like, came in the special edition or whatever, and then added, like, the 500 Creator Club things to it, so that you can, like, turn them on and stuff, whatever. That's it.
Okay.
Like, it's stupid. Like, they should really like. If they want to re-release games, they should do it for literally anything other than Skyrim. Ah.
Nothing. Nothing. I'm just sighing deeply again.
About what?
About things. As usual.
About how one company's.
Did you go through banning stuff before you started, by the way?
No, I did not.
I'm gonna do that now because I'm seeing new follows that followed like immediately after account creation.
Mm.
I've been trying to get them before we start because I heard that a lot of them were IP trackers or something. And so I don't want us getting hacked. Because I've been hearing a bunch about like they follow and pop in or whatever as soon as you start and then like get your IP or something. Don't know exactly how that works, but I would rather be safe about it.
I know the one that followed during stream.
There's one from 2 hours ago. Looks legit. It was created 2018.
Ah, okay.
So if you're talking about
My
2 hours,
understanding is that the IP doxing is only if you click on their profile page. Interesting.
I don't know, but I've been getting the emails and stuff.
Holy crap.
Is that?
Was what?
I wonder if the doxing via clicking on their profile page is like because those would be the people most likely concerned about when they were created and stuff.
Maybe.
Like I'm just trying to think of what the thinking there was. In any case, I really don't want any of that crap. And we've been getting more and more emails and stuff from that.
Mm-hmm. It's a ridiculous situation. Not ridiculous, but
It's a very unfortunate situation because, like, technically speaking, if they are working on tech designs and stuff to fix the problem now, we are not going to see a solution for months. It's just that's not feasible. So, I don't know where exactly they're at, and I do know Wreck-It Raven had tweeted, I think yesterday, because she had, or they had a meeting with Twitch in which they came out feeling sort of positive about what Twitch is doing, it sounded like, but they can't talk about it, obviously.
yeah.
Especially because, again, they don't, like, we don't want the bad actors to then get information in advance about what the preventative measures are going to be, because then they'll just have faster access on, like, knowing how to get around it.
Mm-hmm.
So, they can't say anything, but they seemed encouraged, sort of heartened, so hopefully that's good.
Hopefully. I used the solo Sharky starting soon for like the first time.
Good job.
Pi was just like, this is amazing. So I'm never solo.
I mean, sometimes you are. You just weren't using it before.
Yeah, that's true. Because I always forget to. Even today, like, for part of it was the normal one. Because obviously I didn't know when you were gonna pop in. Oh my gosh. Oh, come on. Stop giving me driftwood. I don't need driftwood.
But how will you romance?
I'm
No,
not
why?
romancing anyone. I don't
Well, why
talk to
not?
people. I'm a lonely person who sits in the hermit house and becomes hermit person.
Clearly, when we named ourselves Aces Playing an Attraction, it was actually only me. Apparently.
Look, when I play dating games, I date. This isn't a dating game for me. This is a fishing simulator.
This is sort of neither and sort of.
Fishing simulator.
I'm like, I don't even feel like it's really simulating fishing so much as it just has a fishing mechanic.
Fishing simulator.
Okay, have fun messing with the fishing bar when you go out real fishing, I guess.
I will. I'll fish so hard.
I'm also sort of grateful, I guess, that as I'm scrolling through Twitter a bit, we do not have sponsors to have to explain to why we cannot do this or that, or why we're getting any hate stuff.
Oh yeah, we have 0 sponsors.
We have 0 sponsors. We don't really want any sponsors. We don't really care.
Yeah.
At most, I would like to maybe sign up for the partnership thing with this one coffee company that's like LGBTQ people of color owned. Because I know they've worked with a lot of streamers and I like coffee. But I also don't think we have quite a large enough audience to justify that. I love our audience, but like, I'm not gonna try to sell like 5 view coffee and call that worthwhile for a company. So I don't know how many people here actually drink that much coffee. Is it just me? Do other people here like coffee? Do people like tea more? Are there people like Sharky who don't like either?
I don't like existing.
What was it? You like hot cocoa or something? Joe loves coffee! Yay! He's great. Also, after my dental surgery thing, I was asking like, oh, is some degree of alcohol okay, or will that be like potential infection? is some degree of like coffee, like caffeine, okay. More of a hot cocoa person, but if it helped the stream, I'd use your affiliate link to buy other people coffee. Oh, thanks, Pie. I mean, I think ultimately it would just sort of be more money that will go into a pool of money to eventually be donated to the project. Because we have zero intention of making money off this stream. In fact, because of the donation processing fee, then more money than we got from Twitch actually ends up going to donation, but that's fine. Recently taken a liking to Monster, but for other caffeinated beverages, definitely coffee. Monster is okay. I think Monster is okay. Rockstar energy drink is pretty good, actually. And I don't know why, but I think they killed it, but they had this really good one called Rockstar Cola, and it tasted like pretty similar to normal cola, but like energy drink. You know, more caffeine than just like Coca-Cola. Um, it was really good. And so that was my go-to when I had like way too many finals and whatever projects and stuff. But then they just stopped selling it. But
Tear.
I love coffee. And then I was very sad because I usually drink my coffee black, but then after I asked the oral surgeon, like, oh, is it okay for me to have coffee? Is it like gonna irritate like the spot or whatever? She's like, black coffee, right? Like, no, not sugary coffee. And I was like, yeah, yeah, black coffee. And then ever since then, I've been like craving a latte. I'm just like, no. And I mean, technically, I drink my lattes without really any sugar added, but I mean, there's sugar in the milk, sort of, because the milk is where it gets the sweetness for a latte. So, like, fuck, I gotta wait. I like black coffee. I guess it's okay.
Make other people buy more coffee.
I also haven't actually tried the coffee from that company that I'm talking about. I know at first I considered signing up for like a partner whatever slot with them. But back then I had actually decided against it because they were only doing like coffees that have artificial flavoring with like oils added in, and I don't like those. Because the thing is, that's artificially adding it in, and then because the oil is just sort of mixed in rather than part of the coffee, and you have to be kind of careful about that. A lot of times that oil can actually go rancid before the coffee does, or the oil doesn't react well with like the heat that the coffee is being brewed at or something. And so that can make it bad because it can give it more of like a burnt flavor or something. Um, I am also a coffee snob, specifically, apparently.
Yes, yes, you
But
are.
like not a very good one. Because on one hand, I'm like, oh, I really, well, like don't want these like flavored, artificial whatever things added to my coffees. I want like my coffee like fresh ground in the morning before I use it, blah blah blah. But then I'm also like, I'm gonna put my fresh coffee grinds into the Keurig because it's faster. Although I found a way, like a setting for my Keurig to make a decent cup of coffee. But I'm just like, that's definitely not how you're supposed to be a coffee snob. Um, but the company I was just talking about did start selling like single origin coffees and stuff. So I'm like, oh, okay. So those are the like non-flavored ones and stuff. And it's just like so a lot of times the coffees are blends. So they'll take coffees from different places and stuff. Like blend them together to get some sort of specific taste or something. But then it's harder to trace like exactly what each thing tastes like. And so it just kind of blends together. Um, Hence the word blend.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I think a big thing is like single origin coffees or like single lot coffees or something, where it's rather than a blend, it's like a specific like place's coffee beans and it's all from like one place, like
Mm.
one farm or something.
Well, that's
Um,
interesting.
well, they're really interesting because then you get a more distinct flavor profile sometimes. I know. I'm saying all this and you don't drink coffee and you don't really care because you also can't taste it
Uh-huh.
even if you do drink coffee.
Uh-huh.
But I am just enjoying talking about my coffee habits now. Sorry.
You're telling the chat this.
I am telling the chat this. I hope they are enjoying it.
I'm gonna end after this day.
Okay. Thanks for hosting the stream while I was late.
No, you're fine. I'm just getting tired, and
Yeah.
I mean, it's not midnight, but it's kind of just the like.
It's getting close and you've been having tiredness and whatever.
Yeah.
You've been having trouble falling asleep and stuff.
I didn't tell you. So the reason why I'm having trouble falling asleep, it took a while for me to pinpoint it because it was showing up as other symptoms first,
Oh.
which are going to be like that doesn't make sense, but it was. Uh, I have a dentist appointment for more than likely getting a few teeth pulled. Yeah.
Wait, what?
So yeah. Uh,
You know to pay attention to that next time I order peppermint mocha. Thank you. If you're ordering peppermint mocha, you probably want to pay more attention at that point to the quality of the chocolate going in, because the espresso is not going to come through as much in flavor, but the chocolate's going to make a bigger difference. Wait, you're getting multiple teeth pulled?
yeah.
Are you me now with
Hmm?
my like mouth full of missing teeth?
It's only on it's one side. Um, more than like if I wasn't having tooth problems right now, more than likely a dentist would say that they need to be pulled anyway because
Hmm.
they are um cracked and stuff. Um,
Oh,
yeah, like they're not good. Like they need to be removed. But
back of your wait, did you get your wisdom teeth removed
no.
already? Ah.
Um,
So they probably will tell you that you need to do that too?
I don't know. Um, but now this week, like it started out as um, throat and ear pain,
Hmm.
but this week it's gotten more and more clear that the teeth are causing pain, which is then radiating elsewhere.
Mm. That
Um,
sounds like when I had to get my first wisdom tooth pulled out ahead of all the other wisdom teeth
ooh,
because I was having intense pain. And I think that was the time that I got my tooth pulled like a week before I went to Korea.
oh no.
So, I was in Korea but couldn't eat like
Mm-mm.
half the foods because I didn't want to irritate the surgical spot with spicy foods.
So, the reason why I
And
haven't
I
been
could
a
only kind of open my mouth. That was bad.
so the reason why I haven't been able to sleep the past few days is just because, my
See, you said that you couldn't get comfortable.
no, like
So I
before, no,
thought it was
like
like, oh,
before. So earlier in the week, it was just like I couldn't, like it was just it. There wasn't pain. It was just I couldn't get comfortable. Yesterday and today, it's been pain.
ooh, yeah,
Like
that's not.
like there are times that I can barely
And you'll also have teeth missing and sore spots and have to wash your mouth out
yeah
with salt and stuff.
um
Yes, just like me.
Like today, it's been such pain that like it was hard to focus at
I've
times.
been accumulating a growing collection of like old, higher prescription level ibuprofen
Mm,
because I've had all of these like dental surgeries, and then I'm supposed to be getting the minor surgery thing for not having kids sometime next month. And that's also supposed to give me the same exact
jeez.
like painkillers and stuff, which I've also been prescribed the narcotic kind, but I've never taken those. But I keep receiving like 600 milligram ibuprofen.
Jeez. But yeah, so I have an appointment on Monday afternoon
Mm.
where I'm basically gonna go in and be like, look, can you please just rip them out of my mouth?
I mean, they, you should probably listen to what they think is best,
Yes,
presumably.
yes.
But yeah, they at that point it sounds like yeah, they might want to just rip them out of your mouth.
So, but I have to wait till Monday, so hopefully the next few
And you,
days.
like me,
Hope,
will be having to be really careful of what you eat and stuff.
hopefully Sunday it's not too bad for stream. Today it's today it's been on
You
and
have ibuprofen or something on hand?
on. Not. I have like one thing, but it hasn't really been helping. I might have to get like,
Like Advil?
yeah, basically. It doesn't really help.
Do you only take one of them at a time?
No.
Two?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, so what I was just saying about how I keep receiving these like prescriptions of 600 milligram, that's basically the equivalent of three. So if two's not helping, maybe three?
Well, this
If
is
it's like that bad.
how many?
If you're anything like me, I do not remember to take a painkiller for it until it's at the point where I might need that degree of pain,
Yeah, this is
like a dumbass. So,
yeah, no, and it's kind of like there's some like if I'm in like certain positions, it hurts less at certain times of the day. Like there's no rhyme or reason, and but
have you
like
tried like ice? Like
uh,
holding an ice pack to it or something?
I don't even know if I have an ice pack. I might see if we have
Well,
like
like, do you have ice? Like an
don't
ice tray or something?
don't think so actually.
No. It might be good to have like an ice tray on hand if you maybe can, because you could just put it in a bag and
Yeah,
hold it up your face or something and see if that helps.
yeah,
Um, but I mean, if you don't have an ice tray, you'd have to go get one first.
yeah.
Um, anyway,
Anyway, I'm gonna end the stream half so that my mouth maybe I can help make it stop shooting pain at me.
and
Not
you've been doing all this recording stuff with this mouth pain?
when I was recording when I was recording Final Fantasy, I wasn't having the mouth pain.
Hmm.
Um, most I had was some throat pain at the time, but it was alleviated at the like it wasn't actually happening at that point.
Okay.
And I recorded a little bit of Final Fantasy 2 yesterday, and when I was recording, the pain was not there.
Hmm.
Like it was at a point where it had stopped for the moment.
Hmm.
Uh,
Yeah, I'm just wondering if you should try to like limit jaw movement or something. I don't know if that would
like
help. I'm obviously not a dentist, but I hope
you
you
know,
feel better.
I'm not recording this weekend. My roommate's gonna be away for most of the weekend too, so it's basically just gonna be myself.
Right.
So
Right.
it's
Yes,
it's
we're the other friend.
oh right, I forgot about that. Um,
Unless you need to cancel.
I
I
was
mean, if
about
you
to
don't,
say
if you're in too much pain for it, certainly like
well,
think.
obviously, it depends on a dozen different things, and we'll see how I feel.
Yeah.
We don't even
We
have
also
a.
set like a time
Yeah,
for
I
it,
was
I
about to
think.
say we don't even have a set start time. I'm kind of more being like, I hope Sunday I don't have to cancel because of it. But like, obviously, we'll see how I am because right now it's like,
I mean, if you aren't feeling up to it on Sunday, I might just take over that day for Boyfriend Dungeon because we didn't play on
okay,
this week. And we're not streaming next Wednesday because of
yes,
the day off Twitch thing.
yeah,
So, just so that Boyfriend Dungeon isn't the one suffering over and over again.
no, that's fine.
At which point you could just come hang out or chat or something,
Yeah,
or
like
hang off or
like
something.
talking, like, I don't know if I can do an accent well or like a voice well.
Okay.
Talking is somewhat painful, somewhat not, so like, I don't know
We'll,
if
we'll,
I don't.
we'll play it by ear.
Yeah,
Um, but
sorry.
in the meantime, thanks for joining, people.
Yes, thank you all for joining, and we'll see you Sunday.
Hopefully.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
I'm just waiting until I see how much money I made. Yeah. Bye.